Wow, this look though, the bun, my spot being like, if you watch me, I've talked about this spot, which I don't know where it came from, if it's a birthmark, how long it's been there. I only remember my brother, when I was in my late teens, saying, what is that on your head? And yeah, I feel like it just sometimes is really darker. Okay, I gotta go. Anyway, that was enough about my spot. I'm only going to talk when I'm stationary and I'm not moving, because you can't drive and film a video. So, because that's illegal. But I'm just going to try to make some lemonade out of lemons this morning, because I'm in the drive-thru because my hip pain, which I've probably talked about before on this channel. Oh, please. It's taken a turn from the worst. I turned for the worst? Yes. So I have arthritis, and in January it was at moderate, and this is something I've been dealing with, this pain, for 4 years. But initially, I want to say that the doctor thought that the pain that I was having, like down my thigh, that it was definitely muscular. It's taken a while to even figure out definitively that yes, it is my hip that was causing all this pain in my thigh and in my knee. But anyway, but now it started hurting, like actually at my thigh, which was kind of a new thing. That at my hip, which was a new thing. And so we found out that I'm saying that I leveled up, you know, to make it sound like I've achieved something. But I've gone from moderate to severe in this hip, and there's also this thing called avascular necrosis that's going on, which means something like your part of your bone is dying because the blood supply is cut off. So that sucks. I mean, it sounds terrible, and it's very painful. And this past week I have gone from being able to walk, you know, with pain, but now I've got to use my cane for stability because it's not there. So I'm in the drive-thru this morning, not because I'm lazy, but because I have not figured out how to do things like walk with a cane and carry 2 drinks or something. So, and I'm not in a rush, so why should I go walking with a cane to go pick up coffee if I don't have to, right? So I decided I would use this time to talk to you guys, and I can't believe I've gone on for 2 minutes and 40 seconds about that. So maybe this will just be a vlog about pain and arthritis pain and the emotional part of you know, being worried about mobility and stuff like that. And I guess I want to say that if you're in that same boat, I see you. And I don't know where this is going to go, because I'm waiting to talk to the orthopedic people to see what the next step is. And you know, just knowing that my doctor's like, yeah, they have to do something, as opposed to just like, you know, stop eating so much and exercise it and stretch it. Hold on. So like on the one hand, it's like saying, okay, there's something messed up and somebody else has to fix it, not you, is sort of liberating, but at the same time it's super depressing, and it's this really weird thing that is very hard to explain. And I don't know if I can explain it. I don't know if anybody would get it unless they've been in this spot. So yeah, I guess I'm wondering if anybody else would. Okay, sorry about that. I got my coffee. I'm trying to be safe, y'all, and not like if my vehicle's moving, I don't want to talk. I really did like open up my phone this morning to, I was like, you know, I've got this time that I have to kill in the drive-thru, which turned out to not be that much. And I thought I would talk about Brokenwood Mysteries, which, you know, at some point I'm going to. It's one of my favorite little murder shows that I watch. It's out of New Zealand, and apparently it's not going to be this morning because I'm going to talk about this. But I guess what I would love to know is if other people have been, okay, let me go back a minute, because the other thing is, until I talk to the orthopedic people, I have no idea what the next steps are going to be, because I am not at the weight that I'm supposed to be. according to the guidelines at Kaiser, to get a hip replacement. So I don't know if there are other surgical type things that they do that are, in between nothing and a hip replacement. So I would like to do some research on that myself, but I guess I'm just wondering if other people have been in this position where I am, where you're at a, what do they call it? A tonus level 3 or tonus level 3. It's like T-O with like dots over it and N-I-S. I have to look it up and see. Is it named after a guy? I can't remember. But I'll put a picture of it up here so people, know what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I guess I'm wondering, how you felt getting that diagnosis. Did you feel frustrated that it took a really long time to, well, again, I wasn't at this place in January. At January, it was just at moderate. But I'm feeling frustrated about the fact that, I love my doctor, but, way back in 2020, when this pain started in my thigh, I knew it wasn't muscular. I've had muscle pains, and I knew it wasn't, and I thought it was some kind of a nerve thing. And I don't really know how that all works with the hip and the thigh and the knee, if it's, messing up a nerve, and that's why you have the pain there, and it's not even at the hip. I don't know. I'm frustrated with myself and can't help but wonder if, the last 4 years had been more, I'd been more healthy, and I'd been exercising and taking weight off, and, would it still have come to this? Or, because there are perfectly fit, healthy people who wind up needing new hips, so I don't know. And you know what? I'll never know. And I need to get out of my head, because I don't like to dwell in the past and what might have been had I done this, because, it's a shitty way to be. It's a shitty way to live. And so I guess if you don't have any arthritis or anything, and you sat here and listened to this morning, then I guess that can be your takeaway is, you get in a spot, and even if you think to yourself that, there might have been something that you could have done to change it, don't spend a bunch of time back there, because it doesn't serve you, God damn it, guys. I'm so, I feel extra hormonal the last few days, and I told people that I'm going to blame it on my dead bones. I'm going to say, the way I would say, hey, I'm 54, and so, I have old people brain. I know I'm not old. You know what I mean? 54 isn't old. I say that because I know so many vibrant, either famous people or just people out in the world who are, 64 and 74 and 84 and 94 who are just living and out there doing stuff and everything. But so when I make those kinds of jokes, I'm not really, it's when people are I'm a large girl, and the people around me are talking about how fat they are and stuff, and I'm thinking are you kidding me right now? Because I'm sitting right here, so I don't ever want anybody who's 64 or 74 who might be watching this being you, what the, you're 54, kid. Anyway, but our brains are different in our 50s. I'm just gonna say. So, but the way I would blame everything on that or menopause or anything, I'm gonna start saying I'm extra emotional because I have dead bone right now. But yeah, let's let that be the thing. It's I guess maybe I needed to do this because the last couple of days been my poor kid. No, I'm not gonna say my poor kid. You know what? I've been there for 18 years to comfort my kid and stuff. So if every once in a while my kid has to comfort me, I think that's okay. But because I just started I was so super emotional the other night about this, and I don't even remember where I was gonna go. But anyway, it's maybe I just needed to get this out. In this way, or something to do something constructive, ultimately artistic, because I'm going to go back to the computer and, edit it or whatever. And I'm sharing, and I'm reaching out to other folks to see, I would love to hear other stories at this at this point. Yeah, that's where I am. So, I'm going to go and I'm going to go edit my Top Chef video is what I'm going to do, because I've been wanting to do that. There's a train going by, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do next to nothing else today. I'm going to relax and spend some time with my kid, and maybe I'll post this one too. But if you're still here and you're listening to this after all this time, you're the best, and I really appreciate you. And if you are going through a situation where you're dealing with pain, all I can say is just keep advocating for yourself, keep telling them to do x-rays for you. I think about my dad. I've been thinking about my dad a lot the last few days, not only because it was Father's Day, but because he wound up having 2 hip replacements, and he was the kind of guy who was just like, didn't ever want to admit if he was having any pain, and wanted to be like, our joke is like, rebuke it, he would say stuff like that, like he didn't take sick days, you just keep going, you just keep moving and stuff. And I think he was like that for probably years, with probably really intense pain. And that was at a weird time in our relationship, so like, not that he would have talked about it even if we had a good relationship, because he just wasn't that kind of guy. But this has made me have more like empathy and understanding for him, to try to imagine like what kind of pain that he must have been in on a daily basis, and for quite a while before he finally went and said, we need to do something about this. So don't be like my dad when it comes to stuff like that. Advocate for yourself and get answers. And also, if you've got good joints, use them. I just like, I see people walking, and it's like, it makes me think like, see, here I go again. I'm going back, like, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. But, get out there and move. Get out there and dance, walk, whatever it is, just go do that. If you can, go do that. And I hope you have a fantastic, I don't want this to be like depressing. I hope this isn't depressing at all. I want it to be like, hopefully inspiring, or hopefully helpful in case you were like stuck in your mind, or reliving stuff that wasn't serving you. Hopefully I've told you not to do that, so you just won't anymore. Wouldn't that be cool if it worked that way? Anyway, I don't know. I hope somebody got their toilet cleaned while this was on, or something. And I'll be back next time with something that's much more upbeat. And I really appreciate you being here. Thanks for listening. Okay, bye.